Here at 7 o'clock this morning on Up with KREM, changes to North Idaho's COVID-19 guidelines. We'll tell you what you can expect not to see while walking through town this weekend.
Any small change like this presents a whole host of logistical questions that have to be answered.
Social distancing guidelines are being relaxed in Washington schools. Why education leaders say it will take time to implement those changes.
And that is a beautiful sunrise on this Friday morning. We're going to see a lot of sunshine, not just today, but for this weekend. But I'll also be tracking some strong winds over the weekend as well.
Our whole tournament run, we wore white until the national championship. And then Carolina was the #1 overall, so we had to wear a dark jersey.
From pre-rituals to game day superstitions, there's a lot of questions about what needs to be done for a Zag to win the championship. This morning we learn of the curse of the black jersey and why former Gonzaga basketball players thought it was more about their skills and abilities.
Up with KREM begins now.
Here at 7:01 this morning, taking a live look outside. This sight has just been amazing all morning. Our Friday morning sunrise coming in just a second. We're going to give you a full Friday forecast, including some high winds on the horizon for Sunday night. But we want to welcome you to Up with KREM this morning and wish you a happy Friday. I'm Joshua Robinson, being joined this morning by Dana Marie McNichol and Thomas Patrick, filling in for Jeremy Legoo today. Good morning to the both of you. But we're going to take a look at what everybody in the Pacific Northwest is talking about this morning. If you haven't seen it, take a look at your screen. Do you see that streak of light that was seen last night over the sky? A little faint here, but we're going to zoom in just a second, give you a closer look. You can see that shimmering kind of tail on the end of it. If you saw that fireball, text us at 509-448-2000. And coming up, we'll explain what it was and where it came from. But before we get to that and some of our other top stories this morning, I know, Thomas, you just want to talk about that, right?
Yeah, I very much do, but we have another fireball in the sky right now, and it's called the sun, and that's great to see during the morning hours because we have been plagued with some cloud cover the last couple days here. I'll tell you what, you look at the downtown camera here, and it just is awesome. It's just kind of starting to hide behind the Grand Hotel. Now, from our outdoor weather set, east is that way, and there's just like a rigid cloud cover that almost looks like another range of mountains, and I dare say in about 5 minutes it's going to pop over those clouds and our outdoor set's just going to be baked in sunshine, and that's just going to be fantastic for the morning hours here. The airport is actually reporting a little bit of fog at the moment. It's 33 degrees, not experiencing any fog out here this morning. I think anything would be very patchy in terms of fog for this morning, but temperature is a little bit cooler than where we were at this point yesterday, mainly because we have more clear skies to work with, so that'll actually help us to warm up a little bit more during the afternoon hours. Look for a mostly sunny day today. High temperatures topping out in the mid-50s. It's going to be a great day weather-wise to close out our work week here, and the weekend should be, for the most part, pretty good. But that next weather system that you see off to the west here, that's going to have some big implications in terms of wind for our region. So coming up, I'm going to time out when the strongest winds are going to be and just how strong they'll be for our area as well.
You're not going to want to miss his full forecast. Thank you so much, Thomas. Well, North Idaho no longer requires masks. The Panhandle Health District actually voted to repeal that order yesterday. It includes all 5 North Idaho counties, including Bonner, Kootenai, Benoit, Shoshone, and Boundary. The mask mandate has been in effect since this past November. The mask mandate was set to expire April 22nd. It was the second of 2 passed by the board since the COVID-19 pandemic began.
New guidelines for Washington students this morning as the requirement for distancing in classrooms has been dropped from 6 feet to 3 feet. Governor Jay Inslee says these changes can take effect immediately. School districts will now need to adjust their plans based on this new guidance. Spokane Public Schools and Central Valley leaders say their boards will have to assess the options and make a decision at a later date.
You just shove a desk and a kid in between those 2 dots. Pretty simple, and it's far more complicated than that.
And 6 feet between staff and students, even when they are eating. Teachers and students are also asked to continue wearing masks. Here at 7:05, time now for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Thousands of people with felony convictions in Washington could now soon see their voting rights be restored when they are released from prison. State lawmakers approved the measure last night. It now heads to the governor's desk for approval. Right now, people with felonies can already regain their voting rights, but it isn't easy. For some, community supervision can last for years, even a lifetime.
Now, other people say they can't afford court-ordered fees, and both issues can prevent formerly incarcerated people from being able to vote. Governor Inslee is expected to sign the new bill, which would restore voting rights automatically upon release. 20 other states have similar laws in place.
Landline users may need to adjust their dialing habits starting April 24th. In Washington, the 509 area code can be dialed when making a local call. But by October, local calls in eastern Washington won't work unless the area code is dialed first. The 10-digit dialing change must be made by July of 2022. That's when the FCC launches a 3-digit suicide prevention hotline. The change isn't just for eastern Washington. More than 80 area codes in 36 states will now have to make the change as well.
Well, just in time for spring, the spring market at the Pavilion is opening this April. The free event will feature local vendors and food, and it starts on Wednesday, April 7th, and will run every Wednesday until May 12th from 3 to 7. Coronavirus protocols will be in place. If you're interested in becoming a vendor, you can head over to their Facebook page, Spring Market at the Pavilion. And that is your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKrem on social media. So coming up this morning on Up with Krem,
And
it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a fireball. Coming up after the break, what an astronomy professor is saying about a streak of lights seen over Washington.
And spring break is upon us, so that means travel is starting to increase as people are going back to the airports. Coming up in our next half hour, a look at the new technology increasing social distancing at checkpoints.
All eyes on the weekend as we will see plenty of sunshine today and tomorrow, but strong winds are expected to close out Sunday night. More on that forecast is coming up.
And it is an exciting time to be a Zag and a Zag fan. They take on Creighton in the Sweet 16. Tip-off is on Sunday at 11:10 a.m. It is the Zags' 6th straight season. They made it to the Sweet 16. You can catch the game on KREM 2. Also, make sure you tune in a little early. We got a special edition of KREM 2 News at 9 a.m. on Sunday.